Well, Eagles fans, the 2016 NFL Draft is in the rearview mirror, and the Eagles came away with two very versatile defensive backs on day 3. I'm Fran Duffy, joined by NFL Film senior producer Greg Cosell. And Greg, Blake Countess in round 6, but Jalen Mills in round 7 is a guy that really intrigues the two of us. Let's talk about Jalen Mills. Give us a quick scouting report.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he started right as a freshman at LSU, played 4 years, started the first 39 games of his career at outside corner. Came back this year, got hurt as a senior. Then when he came back, what did he play? Slot corner, safety, sometimes dime safety / linebacker. He's played all these positions really well. What I found really interesting was at the Senior Bowl, coming off this last year, when he played mostly slot and safety, they put him back at outside corner, which tells me the NFL might see him that way. But he can play all 3 positions, and that really helps a defensive coordinator.
Obviously a 7th-round pick. You're not looking for him to come in and start right away. But if you're Jim Schwartz and you've got a player with that kind of versatility, what does that do for you on game day?
Well, in your sub-packages, first of all, if he's really good at all these positions, that allows you to use him based on the rest of your personnel and the opponent you're playing to be a matchup piece. And when he does get to the point where he's going to play in your base defense, he has the capability of matching up man-to-man on tight ends, on backs. He's a matchup player that can play in a lot of different spots. That always helps a defense.
Well, you talked about his history on the outside at cornerback, and we've got some clips of that from earlier in his career. This is a couple years ago. This is against Auburn wide receiver Sammy Coates, a former 3rd-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ran in the 4.3s at the combine when he's coming out of the draft. You're going to see Mills in a press man situation here. As we let this play run, you're going to see Mills pin him to the sideline.
This is absolutely beautiful, and we're going to freeze in a second here. And why this is so good is because what did he do? Very subtly, he squeezed him to the sideline. He reduced Sammy Coates' space, and this makes it hard for the quarterback to have a place to throw the football. So this was a beautiful job by Mills. And you know the other thing I liked? After he did that, he turned back and looked for the football. So many corners will do this and not look for the ball. And that's why he was able, as we see, to come away with an interception, because not only did he squeeze and reduce the space for the receiver, he found the football. That is about as well played press man on an outside receiver, outside the numbers receiver, as you can do.
Defensive back coaches like to call that playing the ball in the air in phase, turning back, finding the football. That was in a press man situation. Let's look at a zone concept here. LSU against TCU. Here he is on the outside.
And again, look where his eyes are even before we start running the play. His eyes are inside. You know why? We can't see him now, but there's a slot receiver here. So let's start running the play, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. If you freeze it about here, perfect, because what happens is initially this receiver right here was the outside-most receiver, which was the responsibility of Mills initially, but his eyes picked up the wheel route behind it, and now that receiver, the middle one that's circled here, that receiver became the #1 receiver. And as we clear the screen and let this run, Mills, again, great job with his eyes, and then look at him drift back to #1, which was his responsibility as the outside corner, makes another interception. That is really good eye recognition, knowing where to look, and then reacting.
So you see the zone awareness, you see the athletic ability, the speed, the ball skills. Jalen Mills, one of the most talented defensive backs in this entire draft class. The Eagles got a steal in round 7.